Hello, it's 9:30. It's March 8th, and welcome to the weather update. And as expected, we had some clouds around today. We had some periods of clear skies for a couple of hours in the morning, but other than that, we're dealing with all the clouds. And it's all from this huge. We're starting off with the high resolution satellite here to point out what's going on. So we have this huge storm. This is the storm right here. It's south of Nova Scotia. You can see how huge the storm is here. That thing is just unbelievable. You can see, look at this thing. So it's throwing clouds back at us, even though it's pretty far away. It's off Nova Scotia. So what we got is we had, like I said, I think it's a combination of factors. But I think what was going on, it was throwing clouds back at us, literally back at us from this direction. All right, that's because of the blocking pattern. But also because of the origin of this air mass, as I kind of explained to you in last night's weather update. This air mass is not from Canada, even though we have a high that's here. It's actually Pacific air, the northern Pacific air. That's kind of, if we kind of draw out where this air came from, draw that out here. I got to get this back up here now, but it's okay. So it kind of came from the northern Pacific, kind of went this way, and came down to us. All right, so it's not even air from, it's not Arctic air, and it's not that dry, so that's part of the reason why we had these clouds around today. This is this morning. This image was taken. You could already see a few patchy clouds over New Jersey, as well as Long Island as well. So, and it got more pronounced as the day went on. Looking at the satellite loop here, let's look at that. You'll be able to see here all those clouds. So this is the 120 frame satellite loop that we're looking at here. You can see the clouds have kind of dissipated tonight again. You could see that wave of clouds that kind of just came over, and then a whole bunch more clouds popped up over New Jersey, which I wasn't expecting. So I'm glad I did not attempt to go there. I had a feeling, just looking at again those soundings, we saw all the temperature and the dew point kind of close together, and so that is why you can see all those clouds. And now it looks like they're kind of dissipated a little bit away. So I'll show you what the sky looked like today. I did get out there and walk around a little bit, but again, we had some clouds. You can see here we had some clouds. Yes, I did spend a little bit of time at Deer Park, but the sun only came out for a very short amount of time. It was behind all these clouds you see here. These are some kind of marine stretch. The sky almost looks like something you'd see in the Pacific coast. This is another look at the sky again. This is like something you see along the coast of the Pacific. Like the Northwest, Pacific Northwest, the kind of sky, especially these kind of clouds here. This is Southard's Pond. I have a little video too that I took there. But you can see these kind of clouds here that we had. So these kind of clouds are like something you'd see off the coast of like, Seattle or something. That kind of sky. It kind of shows you where this air mass came from. Again, these clouds, really unusual looking. Clouds again. This is the origin of the air mass, where it came from. That's probably why. So again, really unusual. These almost look like mid-level, like altocumulus clouds. But here you can see really interesting. But the skies have cleared tonight, so we'll have to see if that sticks around for tomorrow. You can see another arm coming down that could bring us more clouds for tomorrow. We'll have to look at all of that in this weather update, plus the storm on the weekend, and the things getting a little interesting, but they kind of blown it out of proportion on TV, as they always are. I'm not impressed with what I'm seeing so far, at least the last time I looked at the models. So let's go to the Weather Prediction Center. You see that low is way, way offshore. We got this big high that's kind of nosing down from central Canada. We're kind of on the edge of it. And then you have this complex storm system here in the middle of the country. And yes, more action out west again. They're going to be seeing more action out west, and another atmospheric river. You can see this is another excessive rainfall. With all the snow they got, now they're going to be getting heavy rain. Even in some of the mountain areas, they'll be getting heavy rain. So on top of that snowpack, could create some crazy flooding conditions. This California is really just, between the droughts and all this, it's you have to wonder if it's becoming unlivable at this point. It's unbelievable what's going on over there. Let's go to I meant to look at the radar here so you can get another look at it. So it says an atmospheric river known as the Pineapple Express is taking aim at California. So we have another atmospheric river that's heading toward California. That's what's going on right now. I don't see any severe thunderstorm warnings when I look at the weather hazards. We'll have to look at that. You'll see here's the next atmospheric river, and we're going to look at all of that here. So let me close this up. Atmospheric river known as Pineapple Express. California at risk of life-threatening storm surge, life-threatening flooding from the atmospheric river, and maybe some storm. So as a moisture-packed system moves inland over the Golden State, it will carry warm air into the higher elevations, which will lead to rapid snow melt. So they got all this snow, and now it's going to melt. So they got, just watch, they have all this snow, which is their snowpack is going to help with the drought. But what's going to happen is now you're going to get all these systems that are coming, and they're going to wash the snow away, and they're going to lose all that water. So it's all messed up. So it's just very, very messed up here. You could see here just another storm here. This is kind of like some of the graphics that they have here. An atmospheric river. Here we go again with an atmospheric river known as the Pineapple Express. So it's pretty crazy, and I'll link this in the description below. But anyway, let's go to the... All right, so we're looking at the satellite here. I want to actually go to the CONUS view. So let's do the CONUS view on the satellite. And we're going to also look at the west as well. So you can see what we have going on here. And again, there's that storm system way, way out there. You can sort of see on the edge. This is the system we have to watch out for the weekend. And let's go now to the west coast and U.S. Pacific coast. And we're going to go to GLM flash intensity because... one thing that we do have in these atmospheric rivers are thunderstorms. Let's go a little further. I don't see any action yet, but let's see. We'll probably be talking about this more tomorrow, I think, at this point. We can also look at the Pacific Northwest. Don't see anything yet, but we're going to start seeing thunderstorms here out west. Looks like there's some kind of issue with imagery. It's saying that there's an issue with it, so I'll have to see what happens, but there could be a convection. Here we go again. This is what happened in December. It's going to happen again. It's December and January actually happened, so it's going to happen all over again with California getting this. So let's go to the weather and hazards map here, and you'll see here that we have winter storm warnings in effect for, again, we went over that area in Wisconsin, parts of Iowa, and then winter weather advisories all around. Out west, we've got wind advisories, flood watches. The mountains have winter storm warnings. We have high wind watches and warnings being put up in certain parts of, looks like Nevada. So more storminess out there. Let's put the observations up, and we'll take a look at what's going on in our area, of course. So they're getting ready for that. And it looks like we have a frost advisory for the coast of North Carolina there. So looking at our area right now, you can see these wind gusts. We've been dealing with them all day long. It's been very, very windy. This morning was really windy. So let's look at Islip right now. 37 degrees. See, that's the issue. The air is not that dry. The dew point is 25. That's not a big spread. North-northwest wind 21, gusting to 26. So let's go and look at... and again, because the origin of this air is from the northern Pacific. It's not even from interior Canada. It's, this is sort of a marine air mass we're in. Semi-marine air mass. So today was definitely cooler than yesterday, I think. We had more intense cold air advection. And you can see we had some clearing skies and later on in the afternoon, but the middle part of the day, the main part of the day, we had plenty of clouds being reported at Islip. Though there was times in the morning when we did have some clear skies. But you could see that north-northwest wind in the morning, particularly in the morning. We had gusts at 35 miles an hour. I mean, I don't know why they didn't put a wind advisory up for us. Gust at 33. So they should have put a wind advisory up. Probably would have been prudent to do that. So you can see Jersey looks like a little warmer there, around 40, mid-30s for us. So let's go to our highs and lows for the area. And again, these winds are just incredible. We'll be dealing with all day. So highs and lows. So highs, mid-40s, close to normal for today, I think. Upper 40s to around 50 in New Jersey. The lows, upper 20s, no radiation, no cooling. Upper 20s on Long Island, low 30s in New Jersey. It's a little warmer there. Again, this air mass isn't all that cold. So let's go to the, I want to go to the climate report for Islip today. So see if we were at normal today. I think today we were finally at normal, maybe even below. Let's see what we have. So, high was 44. The normal high is 45. So, we're 1 degree below normal pretty much today. So, a little bit below normal, fairly close to normal for once at Islip. Close to normal. After having so many days above normal, the temperatures finally were a little colder today, at least. And that definitely helps. So, I want to go to, let's see if we can go to maximum wind gust here. Let's see if we can do this. Wind gust, and again, no, not relative humidity, wind gust. I want to point out the wind gusts that we've been dealing with across the area. And actually, I want to make this a little earlier. So let's move this back to this morning when things were really just nuts. Yeah, 10 a.m. Let's see if we can get information. Yeah, you could see some gusts in the 30s, 36. So yeah, the wind was pretty bad out there. Just blustery to say the least. So let's go to the models now, and we'll go ahead and we will look at what we have. We have disagreements in the model. We have, again, it's going to be an interesting couple of days here. So there's that high that's kind of nosing down. You can see it nosing down there. And it'll keep us fair and dry tomorrow. And then here comes that next storm system for Friday. Friday, well, more like Friday night into Saturday. So clouds increase, and then we have this low that's going to redevelop offshore overnight. And it's going to start as rain, but it might end as a little snow. But I'm not impressed because of the way the storm is tracking, where it intensifies. It's going to take most of the precip with it. And also the other issue is the air is marginally cold. Again, because it's not real Canadian, it's not really polar air. It's like Northern Pacific air. So it's going to be hard to get some snow here. I know some people are already blowing it out of proportion, especially on TV. But I'm not impressed with what I'm seeing so far on this. That storm forms way too far offshore. That moves away. We have a fair weather day on Sunday, and then we have another setup here, and this is where the European actually gets a little more active than the GFS. So there's a weak low there that goes to the south, just light mixed precipitation. Then it kind of goes and it kind of hooks into Maine. This is what the GFS does, and blows it up. And Maine would get, and maybe New England, coastal New England would get a snowstorm out of it, but we'd be too far east for us. And then that thing deepens, and then we have a similar setup with the wind on Wednesday that we have today, and then you see another system there coming in and bringing us into the chance for precipitation on the weekend here, and then another. So it does show some activity and perhaps chances for snow. If you look at the west, you'll see all the systems crashing into the west. By the way, 1, 2, there's a whole bunch of them there. All right. That'll be crashing into the west. But because we have that block, we still have that block in the upper atmosphere. Let me show that to you right now. If we look at the upper air here, that block is the reason why we're not roasting, and instead we have near normal temperatures, or not roasting here, even though the Pacific isn't cooperating. You'll see though that block it eventually toward the end of the period tries to break down. But right now it's there, and it's having an effect on our weather, and it definitely is making a difference as far as avoiding the ridiculously above normal temperatures that we could be dealing with if that block wasn't there. So let's go back to the surface, and we're going to look at a few other models here. The Icon will be the next model. This is the 18Z run of the Icon. And here's the storm system again. They seem to agree on this. Takes the storm system south and out, just straight out. Because it's just being suppressed at this point. Sometimes you could say it's almost too much suppression going on. But again, even if it wasn't, I think it would be rain because the air is just not cold enough. And then this is as far as we got on the Icon, and then it shows this is the next storm here that would come in Monday and could be a soaker. All right. However, there are models that say other things are going to happen. All right. So let me go. We're going to put this in the north. Move this over to the northeast view. All right. So here is your Icon model. It doesn't go that far out. Let's go to the European 12Z European. All right, because this is the one that's interesting. All right. So as far as the Friday system goes, you have it takes it a little closer, but it's not impressive at all. All right, but watch what happens when we get toward next Monday into Tuesday. It develops this really wrapped up system right here, and it has it right offshore, and it's marginal that some areas, maybe on the north, maybe some north and west of the city, would get snow from this. But again, you'll see when we look at the temperatures, the air isn't all that cold, and that's the problem. So looking at the temperatures, you'll see we're not even below freezing. So it's going to be hard. It would have to be one of those things where if it comes down heavy enough, then it would be snow. So that's that system there really just this second system, basically GFS has it further away. This has it closer. This is the European model, and then it kind of has it sitting over us and giving us a rainy Monday evening and then lingering into Tuesday before finally moving away. That's the Europeans' take on that, and then it finally moves away Wednesday. Obviously, there's a ways away for that storm. Looking at the GFS here, we'll go back to the GFS, look at the storm on the GFS. You'll see here, oh yeah, let me just change the precip. Yeah, for some reason they don't give the precip type. So here is, again, the European here. I meant the GFS, and you'll see there's that snow line to the north of us. But again, unimpressive cold air. It's not impressive, the amount of cold air that we're getting here, and that's the issue here. So if you look at the GFS and say total snowfall, yeah, there's nothing basically. Maybe a coating of that, and that's all because of the temperatures. All right, so you'll see again the temperatures are just not cold enough. We don't have that cold enough air in place to do it, and that's the problem. So let's go to the HRRR. That's why I'm not too, like I said, I'm not too confident on that system. So let's go to the HRRR right now and look a little more at the short range, and you'll see those tight isobars start to loosen up a little bit tomorrow, so a little less wind tomorrow. It's a little breezy, but not as crazy as today. And you'll see even some shower activity in New England that we will not have to deal with, but we could have to deal with, again, more of those clouds again tomorrow probably, and then increasing high and mid-level clouds from this system here. And this is the HRRR, and it's finally starting to show up on the HRRR a little bit here. You could see here, and rain. HRRR actually begins the rain earlier. It begins it like almost late afternoon to early evening. So it's even a little faster with this storm system than even the GFS is at this point. But you can see it's warm, and the levels we get rain. So as we get further along, and we'll have more information tomorrow to work with, and a little bit better idea. But like I said, I am not too confident we're going to see any snowfall from this on Long Island. Maybe the North Shore gets a coating, but it's not looking great. And the same thing for the city. You'd have to go to the north and the west, but then you're out of moisture, so then you're not going to get much either. So that's why it remains rather unimpressive. Let's look at the dew points and wind flow right now. So you'll see here's the dew points and wind flow. So we stay with those northerly winds, but they relax a little bit tomorrow. You'll see air isn't terribly dry. Again, dew points in it's dry, but not dry enough to have a nice clear sky probably. And then you see northeast becoming east on Friday in the afternoon, and then shifting off to the southeast. All right, and that's never a good direction for snow either. All right, for the winds. Let's go look at our air temperatures now. So this is our air temperatures. We probably have lows probably similar to last night, upper 20s probably for most areas to around 30. Tomorrow's going to be a little bit warmer, I think. We'll have more like upper 40s on Long Island, probably 50 or better in New Jersey. And then tomorrow night, if the winds relax, maybe you'll see radiation or cooling. Otherwise, we're just going to deal with upper 20s, probably around 30 again. And then for Friday, with those clouds increasing and the easterly winds, we're probably going to actually wind up being cooler. Highs only in the low to mid 40s on Friday. But now let's go to the GFS. And we'll do the same thing looking at the dew points again. So here are the dew points. And you'll see your dew points again for your Friday. You see there's your winds going south, southeast, and then east overnight Saturday. And then it becomes northeast. And then again, winds are going to get pretty strong from this storm, too. That's the other thing. That's because it's going to wrap up. We're going to have some pretty strong winds from this as well. You can see, look at some of the winds around the center of that thing. It's going to be some pretty strong winds there if we go to the actual. Yeah, look at that. That's really going to be impressive. It's going to bomb out, but it's just we don't have the cold air and we don't have the right setup. If we did, this could have been a big snowstorm. But it just doesn't look like that. It's likely if we were colder, we had real polar air, and the storm track was a little closer, we could be talking about a significant snowfall. But that's not going to happen. Behind the storm, we have dry air, northerly winds for Sunday. Light winds, won't be windy at least. And then as we go into next week, there's that next storm system. I don't want to go that far, but you'll see here we stay in the northwest flow at least, and we don't see too much warmth until we get further. I don't want to go that far. All right, I kind of did the long range last night. I don't want to go beyond next week. So looking at our actual air temperatures, and again, you'll see the reason. The issue here is we're above freezing. We don't go below freezing. That's the problem with if you want snow. It's not going to happen, but it will be below normal probably Saturday and Sunday. We'll probably recover into the mid 40s, and then next week looks like we have some chilly days again there, 30s, a couple of cold days there especially. So, but then as you get toward the end of the week, you can see it's trying to warm up, and then it's trying to really bring in some warmth by next Friday. So we'll have to worry about that when it comes, but. Let's now go and look at the cloud situation. So we'll go to the skies here and we'll look at the total cloud for the cloud option. Now, this is the regular GFS, and you'll see it's going to throw some clouds over the east end. However, like I said, I think we're going to see more clouds tomorrow. Definitely clouds on Friday and Saturday, and then maybe Sunday we can clear it out. But we'll have to worry about the cirrus coming in from the next system there. It's as far as I'm going to go with the skies. But if we look at the soundings. All right, so we stick this over islip. This is the 18Z sounding. You see, look at how close these two lines are together. All right, that's a moist layer of in the mid levels to low levels, and that favors stratocumulus and ultracumulus clouds forming like we had today. And for Ocean County, it's even worse. All right, so at Miller Air Park, you can see that's a cloud right there, pretty much. But the model isn't showing it. For some reason, the models are not showing the clouds that popped up. But when you look at these soundings, it would explain to you why we're dealing with these clouds. Let me go to the HRRR next, all right, because we'll have more hours to look at with the HRRR when it comes to these soundings. So let me move this to 16Z. All right, it's 10 a.m. I remember the clocks go ahead, so these numbers are going to change. And you can see, look again at how close these two lines are together. That to me shows cloudiness. Same thing here. A little bit better over New Jersey. It still to me shows cloudiness. Go to 18Z. And look at that. They're touching. So this is right around noon, 1 o'clock. We have clouds, overcast on Long Island. And same thing for New Jersey. So it's just not looking good for a clear day. I thought maybe we'd get one, but again, when you look at the origin of this air mass and the fact that the high is all the way, the center of the high is so far away and we're in the periphery of it, we're not getting the substance needed to give us a nice clear sky that we need. And that's the issue that we're having. So let's go to the RGM, and we'll go ahead and look at that. So we have 30 hours of the new 0Z RGM in, so we can sort of look at the 0Z run. It doesn't really give us much. Yeah, for the clouds, it gives us even less. So we'll have to use the 18Z run. And again, it's not showing much cloud cover, but I think there's going to be more. And then for sure, it shows a pretty dense cloud cover, the eastern part of Long Island there after 2 o'clock. And then once we get rid of that, then here comes the cirrus for Friday. And then this is the storm system for, again, we could look at that again. Look at how that wraps up there. All right, on this. We could use the RGM and actually look at the precipitation as well. So let's do that and see what that does. And RGM, again, just gets us on but look at how tight this thing gets. It gets over some really warm water and gets very compact, and there could be a lot of strong winds around that center there like that. All right, so this is the kind of, but as far as snowfall goes, yeah, it's showing an inch or two, maybe. But again, don't get your hopes up. Just don't. It's just like the last time. I'm not too encouraged here. If we had colder air in place, it would be better. But again, this is not polar air. It's not Arctic air. It's Northern Pacific air, and it's not cold enough nor the dew point low enough to really get a good snowfall. But maybe there's a small chance it's going to happen. But I'm not too encouraged by it. Let's go over to the Ventus Sky site, and we're going to look at the Ventus Sky site as well and visualize this storm again. Let's go move this all the way till Saturday, and I know this is going to use the icon model here. So this is the icon model. So you see the storm, it's already over here. It's far away. Look at how deep it is, though. 29.2 inch low that it has there. It's very low, very low. And if we look at the wind gusts around it, you can see, look at the winds, 70 mile an hour. This is going to be a monster storm. You have warmer than normal oceans. It powers these storms up, but it's not. If we had really cold air in place, you'd have an opportunity for snow, but I just don't see it. We could be dealing with also rough surf as well from the storm system. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Look at some of the waves around it, but we'll have more an idea what's going to happen tomorrow about that, I think. But the storm is going to be a monster for sure. So let me put this back to wind gusts here. Let me put the GFS in here. This is the GFS. You can see again. Look at how deep that thing is. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Actually, I want to look at the current storm that we have out there. Let's see. This is the current storm. This storm is 28.1. That is a very deep. Oh my God. So this is a very, very deep low over here. It's incredible. And if you look at the wind gusts around the center of this thing, oh my God. It's almost like a hurricane. I'm telling you. It's crazy, this thing going on, the storm offshore. Nuts, look at the waves. Oh my God, 25 footers. Oh my God. It makes me want to go back to the weather and hazards map and just look at this for a moment. Just do a couple of other things here with this storm, because I'm just too damn curious here at this point. Because it's such a crazy storm. Let's go to Northern Atlantic. GLM flash intensity. Let's see if there's a lot of lightning around the center of this thing. So this is the storm right here. I like to give it a little bit of a longer loop. Let's do 60. This is the storm right here. It's just so intense. Let me give it 120. Just look at this thing. I mean, it's just crazy. This thing is a monster. You can see the little lightning flashes around it. I mean, it almost has an eye there. Look at that. Almost looks like it had an eye. It's not tropical, though. It's non-tropical. It's extra-tropical. I don't think the Hurricane Center is calling it tropical, but, man, I mean, that's just crazy right there. That's crazy deep. That is crazy deep. See, let me go to the weather and hazards map, and let me see if we can get some observations. At least maybe there will be some marine observations we can actually look at from the storm here, because it's just incredible to see. All right, put observations here. Let's see. It's probably nothing where... Well, yeah, it's affecting... Look at the winds in Cape Race. 53 mile an hour wind gusts there. So they're getting to see some of the winds from this. Oh, my gosh, yes. 54. Oh, 61 mile an hour wind gusts. Oh, my gosh. So Newfoundland, 61 mile an hour wind gusts in Newfoundland. That's crazy right there. Look at these wind gusts. 50. This is nuts. It's just crazy. Bonavista, Vista, 50 mile an hour wind gust. That's insane. So that's the kind of storm system we're dealing with here, and I'd like to see if some of these have some marine. Look at how warm it is too. Look at this. This is on the right of the storm. You can see all the warm air that it's bringing up. 55, dew point 52. Look, we're in maritime Canada here. I mean, that's ridiculous. The water temperature is 53. Oh my God, the water temperature is 53 off Newfoundland. You got to be kidding me. That's ridiculously warm. So this is the kind of stuff we really have to be worried about here. Oh my God. That's crazy. I wish it had some wave heights It is a marine station. We'll see if we can get some wave heights from this thing. I don't see any. Wow, the water temperature is 53. That is insane. That's insane. No wonder why this storm is exploding the way it is. Meanwhile, it's colder over here. It's 34 at this. This may be misplaced. I don't think that's in the right. That may be misplaced. But I'm just curious as to what's going on in the center of this thing. They should send the hurricane hunters into it. Really, that's what they should do. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, 39 with a wind gust of 40 miles an hour here at this buoy here. So it's just crazy, the storm cranking up the wind, and that's why we're seeing all these unusual clouds in the sky. It's just really, really crazy stuff. And the reason why it's all happening again, we'll just end it here at earthnullschool.net. And again, look at this. This shows the storm right here. I mean, look at how big it is. It takes up almost the whole ocean. I mean, it's like a monster. This thing. It's unbelievable. Look at it. I mean, it's nuts. So if we look at where the center of it is, and I'm going to put sea surface temperature anomaly up here. And look at all the bright red that you see here. I mean, it's a way above normal. 6 degrees above normal. 9.5 degrees above normal. 14.9 degrees above normal. That's crazy. 14.9. I don't know if you're getting that on the screen there. That says 14.9. Oh my God, that is crazy. And that's an actual sea surface temperature of, and we're looking at a sea surface temperature about maybe 500 miles east of Long Island, but actual sea surface temperature is 62 degrees. That's crazy. You can see how warm this water is. 67 degrees. Look at how far north it goes. I wonder why this storm is exploding. I mean, it's crazy. We all need to be alarmed about this. This is very, very disturbing stuff. So, and like I said, your regular weather report is not going to cover this because, again, it's politically incorrect to talk about this stuff because we all know nobody wants to admit how screwed we are with the weather and the climate. All because of we keep burning those fossil fuels. Look at that, 70 degrees. I mean, 70-degree water temperature. How many miles is that? I don't know if we can take a mileage marker here. I don't think we can. But that's probably maybe 400, 500 miles east of Atlantic City, New Jersey. A 70-degree water temperature. I mean, look, 76. Maybe if you go 100 miles east of Ocean City. I mean, these water temperatures are insane. If you're seeing this, let's see. Put that up there for you. Hopefully you can see that. 76. I mean, these are the sea surface temperatures. Yeah, the oceans are warming faster than any other part of this planet. Because again, all the greenhouse gases we put in the air by emitting fossil fuels, by burning fossil fuels, we're screwed. And we just keep doing it. We're not doing anything about it. We just keep, and no, electric cars isn't the answer either because there's a lot of consumption that goes on with them. We've got to get more people on mass transit, and we've got to, as far as the internal combustion engines, we need to make them smaller and more efficient. There's no reason to have big trucks around anymore. But again, it's people just want to keep driving it. They want to pretend that this is all just a figment of their imagination. While we keep, basically making the planet unlivable for our children at this point. Especially many parts of the planet are going to be unlivable. What you see in California right now is all part of this whole thing. And this is not going to be good for the ice either as well. So, what can I say? We just consume way too much in this country. People criticize me, why don't you drive? I think more people need to be like me and not drive and take public transportation. It's the automobile. It's the driving around. That's the biggest contributor of all the greenhouse gas emissions. And if we had less people doing that, we'd get our greenhouse. But you know what? It's too late now. The damage is done, and now we're going to live with the consequences of it. So I have been going for a while. So that's going to wrap up this weather update. I'm just shocked at what I'm seeing here. But anyway, that's going to be it. Have a good night. And again, tomorrow, expect clouds again. It's not like we'll never get snow and we'll never get bitter cold days and we'll never get sunshine, but it's going to be harder to get those things now. Yeah, that's for sure. Because of the patterns that have set up. Because again, we have warmer the normal oceans. That's driving all of this climate chaos. The oceans are very warm, and we've got to find a way to cool them down. But again, nobody is willing to actually find a way to do that. So that's going to be it for this weather update. Have a good night.